welcome Her Excellency Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, the President of the Republic of the Philippines.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Before I begin my report to the nation, please join me first in a moment of prayer for President Aquino. Senate President Enrile, Speaker Nograles, Senators, Representatives, Vice President De Castro, former President Ramos, Chief Justice Puno, ambassadors, friends. The past 12 months have been a year for the history books. Financial meltdown in the West spread throughout the world. Tens of millions lost their jobs. Billions across the globe have been hurt. The poor always harder than the rich. No one was spared. It has affected us already. But the story of the Philippines in 2008 is that the country weathered a succession of global crises in fuel, in food, then in finance, and finally the economy in a global recession, never losing focus and with economic fundamentals intact. A few days ago, Moody's upgraded our credit rating, citing the resilience of our economy. The state of our nation is a strong economy. Good news for our people, bad news for our critics. I did not become president to be popular. To work, to lead, to protect and preserve our country, our people, that is why I became president. When my father left the presidency, we were second to Japan. I want our republic to be ready for the first world in 20 years. Towards that vision, we made key reforms. Our economic plan centers on putting people first. Higit sa lahat, ang layunin ng ating patakaran ay tulungan ang masisipag na karaniwang Pilipino. New tax revenues were put in place to help pay for better health care, more roads, a strong education system. Housing policies were designed to lift up our poorest citizens so they can live and raise a family with dignity. Ang ating mga puhunan sa agrikultura ay naglalayong kilalanin ang ating mga magsasaka bilang backbone ng ating bansa. At bigyan sila ng mga modernong kagamitan to feed our nation and feed their own family. Had we listened to the critics of those policies, had we not braced ourselves for the crisis that came, had we taken the easy road much preferred by politicians eyeing elections, this country would be flat on its back. It would take twice the effort just to get it back again on its feet to where we are now because we took the responsibility and paid the political price of doing the right thing. For standing with me and doing the right thing, thank you, Congress. The strong, bitter, and unpopular revenue measures of the past few years have spared our country the worst of the global financial shocks. They gave us the resources to stimulate the economy. Nabigyan nila ang pinakamalaking pagtaas ng IRA ng mga LGU na 14 billion pesos itong taon. Imparting strength throughout the country and at every level of government. Compared to the past, we have built more and better infrastructure, including those started by others but left unfinished. The Subic-Clark-Tarlac Expressway is a prime example of building better roads. It creates wealth as the flagship of the Subic-Clark Corridor. We have built airports of international standard, upgraded domestic airports, built seaports, and the roll-on, roll-off system. I ask Congress for a Philippine transport security law. Some say that after the SONA, it will be all politics. Sorry, but there's more work. Sa telecommunications naman, inatasan ko ang Telecommunications Commission na kumilos na tungkol sa mga sumbong na drop calls at mga nawawalang load sa cellphone. We need to amend the Commonwealth-era Public Service Law, and we need to do it now. Kung noong nakaraan, lumakas ang electronics, today, we are creating wealth by developing the BPO and tourism sectors as additional engines of growth. Electronics and other manufactured exports rise and fall in accordance with the state of the world economy. But BPO remains resilient. With earnings of $6 billion and employment of 600,000, the BPO phenomenon speaks eloquently of our competitiveness and productivity. Let us have a Department of ICT. In the last 4 years, tourism almost doubled. It is now a $5 billion industry. Our reforms gave us the resources to protect our people, our financial system, and our economy from the worst of shocks that the best in the West failed to anticipate.